Good night, folks. It's it's Thursday night again. It rolls around fast, Mike.
Yep.
Seems like every week. And you got to look at my ugly mug again. Don is still out on the road. This is seminar season, so to speak.
Where's he at, Steve?
He's good question. He's in let's see, Hilltop and hunting and fishing in Canton, New York. That's day after tomorrow, Saturday night. Looks like he's Hilltop hunting and fishing, Canton, New York. That's where he's at. Nice place there.
Over there next to Canada, isn't it?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And then he's back to Andrews Hardware Company in Citronelle, Alabama next week. We're going to do a live broadcast there. Have the film crew, the guys in the back there over at Andrews Hardware. Be a good show, so make sure to tune in next week. And then Don's off to Kansas, and then Missouri, Minnesota, and then to Michigan, and then down to Texas. So staying on the road, doing seminars. That's he does a great job with it. So if you're anywhere around those areas, look it up or email us in if you're close to or in that state, and we'll email you back where he's going to be doing the seminar. So anyway, we're back. It's Thursday night, and we'll take a quick commercial break and come right back.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success. You've worked hard all summer to get everything just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free from collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
All right, folks, we're back, and you know what? I think we might even have a caller on the line, somebody that we're pretty familiar with, and we're going to go cut right to that call, I believe. Is that right, Tom? Chris?
I think they're trying to get him lined
there.
up.
Let's see here. All right, you got Mike and Steve Burklow. Who we got?
Big Steve, Big Mike. Big
How about it?
Big Don Bell. How are you, sir?
Man, going down the road. Listen, I'm up here on the Pennsylvania line, headed to, guys, we're headed to Canton, New York. If you've never been there, it's a gorgeous place. We're going to Hilltop Hunting and Fishing. And old Joe, years ago, I did seminars for him, and Joe started this little archery shop up there. Guys, it's 8 miles from the Canadian line, so I'm going to be a long ways from Pensacola, Florida.
I heard that. All right.
He's a real good account, and man, he started. Steve, you'd love him. He's started out as a pro archery shop, and man, that thing has grown, and people come sort of like a destination place. People come from all over up there to see it. So everybody up here in north central New York needs to be making their way to Canton, New York, and we're going to be there at 11 o'clock doing a seminar Saturday morning.
Oh, Saturday morning. Okay, I told everybody, the viewers, Saturday night, so I just assumed. But, well, that'd be nice. All right. And then...
Normally, sometimes, Steve, what they do on Saturdays like that, they'll give the guys time to kind of do what Mama wants to do Saturday morning. And, during the week, it's normally at 7 o'clock. And but on Saturdays, they're just all over the board with it. But Joe's going to do it at 11 o'clock Saturday morning at Hilltop Archery, Canton, New York. So we just kind of been all over the place. And last week we're up in West Virginia and over in Boaz, Alabama, and south of Atlanta. And next couple of weeks, man, we are literally going to be everywhere. we're gonna be up in. I think we're gonna. You can look at Tom there in control room and ask Tom. I believe we're doing the one there in Cincinnati, Alabama, live.
Yeah, I just told everybody.
From there, and then we're gonna be in Kansas.
Wow.
You can just follow me right on out there and bow hunt. I know Mike will load up.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next day we're going to be in Kansas City, Missouri. And a day after that we're going to be in Black Duck, Michigan. You can't make that up. Excuse me, I made that wrong. That's Black Duck, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
You can't do it wrong. And then we're going to run over to Camden, Michigan, and then come back down to Texas and Borneo, Texas. So that's just the next couple of weeks. So we're going to be all over the country. We invite everybody to come see us.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, I told the viewers if they email us, we'll tell them where you're going to be in each state as far as which retailer, and then go see you. It's a great seminar.
Absolutely, man. We'd love to meet them in person and tell them all the friends, load them up a truckload and come on to the seminars, and we'd love to meet you one-on-one.
10-4. Well, Big Don, we appreciate you calling in. Give us a big update.
You guys be good. And Mike, you go behave yourself tonight.
Absolutely. I got Susan watching me tonight.
Well, look at him. We're watching you.
All right.
We got you on the big whatever this phone is here. Watching you live.
All
right, guys. Hey, look, you guys be safe, and guys, tell everybody. You see everybody, tell them come see us Saturday morning, and look on the screen there, and you can see where all we're going to be. Look forward to seeing you guys. Mike, Steve, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right. You be safe.
See you, Don.
All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Big Don's on the highway tonight. Tom, where we going? We got going to Facebook? Yeah, we'll cut it to Facebook. Mike, let's see who we got here.
We got William.
Indiana. Is Scent Defense safe on gun finishes?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny. I'll expound on that a little bit. It's Scent Defense is safe on gun finishes, whereas DEET is not.
Absolutely.
It will dissolve gun finish, especially that camo dipping. DEET will absolutely dissolve it, but Scent Defense is totally safe.
Well, and then you got to think about what it's going to do to your skin.
Right.
If it's going to do that to a gun finish, what it's going to do to your skin.
Do you really want to put that on you?
Right. Well, yeah, it doesn't take long to figure that out. But the Scent Defense, again, is just a natural essential oils that's going to repel the insects.
Right.
And it's got that silver and copper in there to kill that bacteria. And, yeah, it's safe for gun finishes.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take another one here. Jordan Alderton from Kenosha, Wisconsin. What is the difference between the reserve privilege, breeding buck, and bad boy buck urine? Well, I'll tell you the difference. That's a great question, Jordan.
That is a good question.
Reserve privilege breeding buck is actually, we pulled the buck. It's an in-process collection. We pulled the buck off the doe, and that's when it's collected, as opposed to the bad boy buck urine is just collected anytime, not while he's particularly breeding, just anytime that it's collected. But yeah, that's the difference. That reserve is just what it says. It's privilege because there's not a whole lot of it. So, but great question. All right, we got a website question from BioShield. Kim Trotter from Westfield, New Jersey. Is it safe for dogs and cats? If so, how often does it need to be applied? You want to take that one, Mike?
Well, yes, it is safe for your dog and cats, absolutely. And I've got a Labrador Retriever. There may be people that's already watched us on here talk about it.
Yeah.
But we wash our Labrador Retriever probably at least 2 or 3 times a week with the BioShield and or the Scent Defense one.
Right. But now you don't have to apply it quite that often.
No, that's just my wife,
Yeah.
She likes a clean dog.
Yeah, depending on how clean you want to keep it. And, of course, now whenever my wife and I, we take our Labrador, we take him out in the woods, we like to spray him down with BioShield. Just before you go out each time, just spray him down quick, 7 or 8, 10 pumps, and he's covered and keeps those ticks. And ticks are bad.
Steve, talking about those ticks and stuff in the woods, I saw a thing on the news the other day that was sort of interesting, and I have absolutely no idea if there's any type of accreditation to this. But there was somebody saying on the news that the ticks were so bad right now, and I don't want to get into the reasoning for them being so bad because it's a little political, but they said that the ticks were so bad in Alaska on the moose there that the ticks were killing the moose, that they were covering them so bad.
Wow.
But I know a parasite can kill the host, but I don't know about ticks being so bad that they kill a moose.
Well,
But
they're getting bad. So who knows?
so if I go hunting in Alaska, I'm carrying some scent defense.
Absolutely. Or BioShield. That's right. All right. We got another Facebook question from Amy Busby from LaSalle, Illinois. And it says, can you describe your bottling process? And I'm assuming for top secret deer scent, because a lot of people ask that. And the biggest question is, how do you collect it? But can't really talk about that a whole lot. But as far as bottling, it's oxygen free. So whenever this is bottled, and we get this bottle, this is called Headspace. It's filled up. It's kind of hard to explain as far as how we actually bottle it, but it's filled up, and there's no oxygen in this at all. So got a little bottling machine. It's fairly good size, but it is something that is what our patent is. One of our patents is all about in the bottling
That
process.
right.
So it does keep it oxygen free. Otherwise, it wouldn't look that color. It would be like all the other ones, which are dark brown. So anyway, another question or
Yeah, I think he said we had a caller calling in, Steve.
got a call? Question? Oh, got a caller.
Got a call.
All right. All right, you got Steve and Mike. Who we got? Lose them. All right. All right. Well, we'll take a question then.
Well, okay.
And maybe they'll be back. All right, let's see. We'll go Facebook. Robbie Gabe from San Antonio, Texas. How does Scent Defense compare to other odor eliminating products in the market? Another good question.
That is a good question. The comparison, the only way that it really compares to the other odor eliminating products is some of them use silver, some of them use copper. That's the only closeness or relation that they have. Now what we do, we take the silver and the copper, put them together, and we get an exponentiated effect.
Oh, man.
That kills a bacteria that causes human odor. Plus, we use the essential oils to help repel insects and kill insects, which no other odor eliminating product on the market even does.
No.
Now, you can use some stuff, or you'll see stuff that says insect block or something like that, but you can't apply that and hunt because it's got permethrin in it or DEET.
That's right.
And that is going to be harmful to, well, not only to your skin, but harmful to a deer smelling.
It's going to be offensive to the deer.
Offensive.
Yeah. And, but yeah, silver, copper, very effective in killing the odor, real effective. A lot of those scent eliminating, especially like the one in the big orange bottles, those use like a vegetable type derivative, which I'm not saying it's effective, it is, but silver, copper is very effective.
Right.
Not only you get the benefit of the attractant and
yeah, that's right.
and
attractant
keeping
too.
the bugs off of you. So anyway, did we get that person back on the line? All right, here we go. All right, you got Mike and Steve Burklow. Who we got tonight?
Hey, how y'all doing this evening?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Look, I got mainly two different questions. I just got into hunting about 2 years ago because my daughter wanted to get into it, and I still don't have my first kill, although she does.
Cool.
I only live about an hour away from my lease, so I go and check my cameras every weekend. I've been told that going every weekend to check my cameras is too often. The second question I have is, how important is scent control, and what is the best way to use it? Should I be spraying it on my four-wheeler since I go? Should I be spraying it on myself when I go to check my cameras? How what is best and how important is it?
Well,
That's a good question.
I tell you what, Steve. Yeah, great questions. You know, it all depends on, and you're down here in the South. You're in Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Deer down here are pretty skittish. Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, yeah, they're pretty skittish. So, but checking your cameras once a week, yeah, that might be a little bit much. We try to check ours about every 3 weeks at the most, and yes, the biggest thing, I don't necessarily spray down with scent eliminator when I check my cameras, but I do wear gloves and I do wear rubber boots every time, absolutely, because you're going and coming, but as long as you don't leave that scent trail, mainly with your rubber boots, you should be good to go. But
it is. He asked if it is important or how
very important.
Very important.
Wear those rubber boots and wear gloves. Absolutely important. And as far as your four-wheeler, yeah, if you could, and I'll tell you, if there's, unless you just love having a four-wheeler, I tell you, an electric golf cart is fabulous because it's so much quieter. I don't know. I think the deer sure sense that four-wheeler noise, that engine, and they can hear it a long way away. But
I sure have seen a lot of deer run just from the
that
noise
sound.
because they can't course it usually.
Yeah, it's hard to course. But if you do use a four-wheeler, then I'd suggest parking a little bit further away and having to walk in to get your camera cards or swap the cards. But if in any way possible, have you ever tried an electric golf cart to hunt out of?
No, I haven't. Like I said, I just got into it. And I finally joined the lease this year, so
right.
I'm brand new to all of this.
Right. And look, and depending on what kind of hunting you're doing, if you're doing gun hunting, you can be a little bit less with your scent control. Can be a little bit less depending on if you're in a box stand or in a ladder stand. Now, if you're bow hunting, it's crucial.
Unfortunately, on my lease, all of our stands are really close to our food plots because of the amount of acreage that we have. Mm-hmm. So my furthest shot is going to be 60 yards. Mm-hmm. And, I am going to use a crossbow during bow season and my rifle during the other seasons. So I am going to be using both.
Gotcha. Well, two big keys there. Scent eliminator, scent defense is an attractant, plus it's going to repel and kill your body odor. And the biggest thing is having that wind in the right direction, blowing in your face.
That's a big thing.
That's the biggest thing on hunting a food plot is having that wind in your face so it's not blowing out over that food plot. That right there is probably more important than scent eliminator. Anything you can do helps, but both of them together, but especially having that wind in your favor.
Right.
Well, I appreciate it, guys, and I just found out that I can buy y'all scents from a store that's maybe about 20, 30 minutes from my house, so I will be going to get some top secret, and I appreciate all your information.
Well, we appreciate it. All right. Well, let us know how you do, and if you kill that buck this year, send it to us. We'd love to put it in the trophy room.
I certainly will. Thank you.
All right, Steve. Thanks. All right. A lot of hunters just, they were getting into it, and of all ages. Sounds like his daughter wanted to get into it. A lot of ladies getting in, girls getting into hunting these days. But we're going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success. You've worked hard all summer to get everything just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free. From collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
All right, guys, we're back. Guys and ladies, just talking about the ladies getting into hunting.
Getting into that hunting.
That's right. That's right. We got a Fog Zero website question, Mike. It's from Alan Rhodes. And you want to take this one. It says, is Fog Zero just for rifle scopes?
Is Fog Zero just for rifle scopes? Absolutely not. We're finding out more and more how extensive you can use the Fog Zero in just multiple things. I mean, you can go from rifle scopes to binoculars to visors on motorcycles, scuba masks, just about anything you look through, sunglasses, eyeglasses. It's
any optic for
any
hunting
kind of optics
is great.
Absolutely.
Any optic for hunting, your spotting scopes, range finders,
yeah,
absolutely everything. So especially for those scopes, they're real important because that's when you're going to be pulling the trigger. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, anything like that, he's right.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we got another Facebook question from Courtney Warder from Tulsa, Oklahoma. How many scrapes on average do bucks typically make in a season? What you think, Mike? Good question.
I'll tell you what, that is an outstanding question.
Yeah. It's going to vary some too.
Yeah. You know, Chris and I were sitting in here before we started the show tonight, and he was showing me some data that was collected at Texas A&M on the movement of deer. So, and looking at that data and stuff, and looking at the age range, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5 years old deer, one thing that I saw, it's going to definitely, one thing that is going to be a factor is going to be the age of the deer. The younger the deer, 2.5-year-old, 3.5-year-old deer, they're going to make a lot more scrapes. They're on the run constantly. As the peak of the rut nears, they're going further. They're looking, Mother Nature starting to set in.
Right.
And as the buck gets more mature, 6.5 years old, if he makes it 5.5 years old, 6.5 years old, he just, the study shows that he sort of stays in one general area more.
Right.
And beds down, stays bedded down more, and his interest turns more to eating.
Right. And less scraping.
So he's probably going to make less scrapes. He's going to make a few, but
not like in the early years in the 2.5.
But now the younger bucks.
Several. Yeah.
The only way I can answer it is several.
Yeah, several. Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint that, but yeah. So
that's a good question.
Good question there. Another Facebook question from Brandon Glider from Northern Michigan. When acorns begin to drop, do mature bucks simply stay in the woods most of the time? And that's another great question. Great questions tonight.
Man,
well, I tell you what, there's the biggest factor to that, which I believe is pressure. All depends on pressure, human pressure, and predators also, I guess, but humans especially. If you have low pressure, them bucks will come on out, especially early season when the pressure's been off for the whole year. They love acorns now, but so they'll do both. They'll come out and they'll be. But now, if you got a lot of pressure and typically do have pressure during the hunting season, they will stay on those acorns, and you might as well just get in the woods because that's where they're going to be.
Yeah, those acorns are like candy to them almost.
Oh, man.
When they start dropping, and they run out. You know, depends on what kind of rain you get and stuff, if it kills acorns on the ground. But whenever they run out or when they're not in supply anymore, that's when you sort of start seeing more deer on your green field and stuff.
Right, and it's exactly right.
Not that you're not going to see any at all, but you just start seeing.
Well, a good case for
more
that,
bucks.
Mike, was 2 seasons ago in Alabama where we hunt. Had the lowest acorn crop that we'd ever had. And we saw more deer on food plots than we ever had.
Right. I
And,
remember that.
just great. Now, usually we have a lot of acres, and like we did last year, and they were in the woods. We didn't see near probably a third amount that we did the prior year.
Almost
so,
wondered if something had happened to them.
yeah, thought they'd died off or something. We run them out, but no, that's a good question, and absolutely the pressure will govern that.
Yeah.
You say we had a caller on the phone there? Yep, we got us a caller. All right, here we go. All right, you got Mike, Steve Burklow. Who we got?
Nope.
Hey, is this Tyler?
Yes, this is Tyler.
From Wisconsin? All right, Tyler, how you doing tonight?
Good. How about you?
All right, all right. Well, what kind of question you got tonight?
I'm actually, the question is that what is the best deer bait to actually use for bow season in Wisconsin? Because right now the corn right in here is getting expensive, and I have an apple tree by me, and I was wondering if that will help see if the deer are coming. Because bow season is almost here in Wisconsin.
Bow season, when does bow season start?
It actually starts the second week, the second to last week of September.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Around the corner.
And the corn's getting expensive, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, now where I'm at, because it's like almost $40 a bag.
Gosh.
How much?
$40 a bag?
Almost $40.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
I thought it was expensive, $12
I thought
a bag here.
I thought it was expensive here. We pay about $8.95 a bag, usually at the most. But
Yeah, because
wow.
because apparently we have a bad rain and
Bad
all that stuff.
right.
The water was getting bad mostly where I was getting the corn from.
Right.
So
Right. Well,
Yeah.
apples, they love apples. So that's good. But I tell you,
because I have a apple tree in my backyard. So
do you?
Last year didn't have a chance to go bow hunting. I had a chance to go rifle hunting. I shot a deer, but I never set out bait where I was hunting at. But I found a big deer trail in the woods behind me, so I started there, and I went back there the next day, and I didn't see anything. Nothing was by my apples, and I sent them for like 2 weeks, and nothing came. I set a trail camp. The only thing that came was a crow. That's it.
Is that right? Well, I tell you what, Tyler, it's a great question, but listen, try, if you can get this, and I'll tell you what I like, I'll tell you what I really like, if you can order some, or if you got a farm center or a co-op, ask them to order you some golden deer nuggets by Neutrina. Have you ever tried those?
No, my uncle had, and he had shot actually a big 8-pointer.
Yeah, golden deer nuggets by Neutrina. They run about $12, $13 a bag, and I tell you what, it has like a blue. It's kind of got like
raspberry,
kind of like a raspberry smell to it. So if you go ahead and start putting it out right now or soon, that'll get a little bit used to it. But I tell you what, now they love that stuff.
I mean, they love it.
We like to use it a lot at our place, and it'd be a lot cheaper than apparently where the corn in your area, so it might be something to take a look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Shut up. One second. That's my friend. Yeah, my friend is being jerk right now, so.
That's not a problem. Well, Tyler, hey, we appreciate you calling in, but yeah, try some of those golden deer nuggets and send us a picture of that big buck you want to put down.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a big buck, Mike. I have to shoot my dad this year. He shot a big 8-pointer too, and I shot a big, well, sort of big, sort of small 5-pointer.
Is that right? Well, you tell him to let you do the shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck this season, and send us a picture. We'll put it in the trophy room.
Yeah, thanks, you too.
All right. We'll see you, Tyler.
See ya.
All right, guys. It's interesting there. All right. All right, we'll cut to a commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Estrus, the finest doe estrus ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 1/10 Club.
All right, we're back.
All right.
Mike, it's that time of the show where we like to talk about the show sponsor, which is the 1/10 Club by Top Secret. And the 1/10 Club is 12 million deer hunters. So we've got 12,000 bottles for 12 million deer hunters. That's 1/10. So that's where that name comes from. But this is a bottle of Reserve, and this is how you join the club right here. You just purchase a bottle of Reserve, and you're in the club. And there's a lot of club benefits other than just a primo bottle of deer scent. You also have the benefits that they've got on the screen right there now. But this is Reserve Estrus. So this is actually an in-process, pull the old buck off the doe estrus right there. And we also have it in breeding buck, and honestly, the breeding buck is tougher to come by than the estrus. So this one is we probably only got about probably 1,300 bottles of this, Mike. So
that's one I like too.
The good stuff right there. So
not gonna mistake that either, are you?
No, you're not gonna mistake it for any fine wine. That's for sure. So
at least open it and then you'll for you.
That's right. So. But get you a bottle and join the club, and you'll have a great year. I think it's fine. It's the best deer urine that's ever been collected, and I think you'll like it. So, well, we're gonna in this part of the show we got some pictures we wanted to put up here this week. Just kind of recap the trophy room from last season.
People who use product right here.
That's right. People that had used product. I think Chris Henderson right there used the Hot Mama Estrus foam and killed that nice 8-point there in Florida. And there's our big boy Kurt Shepper. He used both products. He used Scent Defense and Top Secret foam. And
he liked it too now.
Yeah, boy, he liked it. And I think he actually used the Top Secret, just the regular hot sauce bottle.
Didn't he give us a story about something about putting it on a tree limb or something?
Oh yeah,
like
he
that?
was licking it. Oh yeah, he said it was right up there, and he killed a real nice deer, as you can see right there in Kentucky. At Whitetail Heaven Outfitters there. And there's Big Mel Burklow. That's our dad. There he is. Killed that real nice buck there at the end of the season up in Dallas County, Alabama.
Using that Fog Zero on his scopes, wasn't he?
Using his Fog Zero on his scopes. Had a good clear shot, and he put him down.
He's going to make sure he's got him a clear shot from hitting that stand.
That's right. That's right. And this is
yours
big,
truly right there.
This is Big Mike's deer last year. Killed this one after being in the stand for about 10 or 15 minutes. He was totally sprayed down in Scent Defense from head to toe, and had some buck urine, I think. Is that right?
Well, I put the bad boy buck out, made a trail with it, and also with the Hot Mama.
Oh, okay.
The bad boy buck on one side of me and the Hot Mama on the other side.
And it wasn't 15 minutes, and that old boy
walking right out.
Come right out on the trail, and
I felt bad. I mean, he was so close.
Could have shot him with an old fire stick.
I could have done it your way.
And
there's you.
There's me and my wife. There's Monique there, and that's an 8-point that we killed with a bow up in Wilcox County, Alabama.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good healthy 8-point there. And this was last year in Illinois, 10-point that I killed on a 5-day hunt there in Illinois. And with Scent Defense, boy, he just come right in and had some Hot Mama. Actually had the Hot Mama drip bag out, or deer bladder. And
man, I like that system.
Oh yeah, that
makes the buck start patterning you instead of you patterning the buck.
That's right. If you had never seen it, we have the deer bladder. Matter of fact, I don't even know if here we go. Deer bladder. If you hadn't heard of it, folks, it's on. Of course, it's on the website, but it is just what it looks like. It's an IV bag, and it's loaded with 5 ounces of doe estrus, and we also have it in We have it in buck, and you can. This year it comes with a refillable syringe that you can refill it with, and boy, you can put it on your scrape, put it right above your scrape, and you can set that drip rate to as fast or as slow as you want it right there, and it's telling you there's a deer there all the time that you're.
And the good thing about it, Steve, is whenever you're ready to leave, you can just leave it and turn it off.
Turn it off.
And when the buck gets there, and he realizes, well, that doe or that buck was in here 2 hours ago, and then the next time you come in here, the same thing happens. You know, after a couple of times, he starts pattern when that doe is in here or when that buck is in here, and he starts coming looking for you instead of you coming and sitting on the stand looking for him.
Right. Very good point right there. So get you some deer bladders and see what happens this year. Yeah,
Jeanette Hunter.
Yeah, there's the mother-in-law right there, Jeanette Hunter. We've got the hot mama estrus, killed a real nice deer there last year in Dallas County. And a good one there.
She's an avid hunter.
Yeah, and who's that?
That's Susan. There's Susan.
Susan.
That's the one that likes to take a pillow with her when she goes hunting.
I heard that. It was cold in that picture.
I tell you what, it was almost 60 degrees, I think.
Dadgummit. All right.
But she likes it.
That's right. And last week we talked about aging a deer. I think it was a Facebook question or something, Mike. Mm-hmm. But Tom's got it there on the screen, or Chris put it up there. But what it is, we got, of course, on the very left on the screen there. Of course, that's a young buck. You can tell by looking at his antlers. But if you see where the neck goes into the body right in front of the front legs, how it there's. In that first picture and the second picture, see there's kind of an indentation right there. But see on the last picture, the older the buck gets, that base of the neck comes straight into the base of his body. And the neck is almost, you can't even tell the difference between the beginning of his body and the beginning of the neck. It's not defined like it is when he's younger. To me, that's a quick way to, swayed back does help some, but that's a little tough to tell sometimes.
Yeah, sway back is a little tough.
Yeah, but the bigger that neck is like that, older bucks, that neck's getting bigger.
That dropped belly
and that
to me is a big
drop
thing.
belly, that's right. It's got a little bit shorter nose the older they get. But after hunting, you see this one here, how that neck goes right into the belly there. It doesn't have that hump at all, like the younger one does. It humps like that. But yeah, that's a good picture there showing the life.
Yeah, that's a real good
life age there. Buck, nice buck too. But where are we going now, Big Tom? All right, we got questions here. Oh, we got Facebook questions. All right, we got Tommy Cook from
Schoharie, New York.
Something like that. I live in New York. Archery season opens October 1st. When should I start making mock scrapes? And should I use bad boy or tarsal gland? Well, and it all depends on when your rut is. I'm assuming it's not the very first part of archery season. So assuming that it's not, absolutely you want to use bad boy urine. You want to use that buck urine. First day all the way to the last day. And as far as making mock scrapes, I wouldn't start until you start seeing bucks chasing does. The very first sign of that, go ahead and start making your mock scrapes, and you can start using doe estrus and that tarsal gland. Once those bucks start chasing, you can start using that tarsal gland too.
Yeah, I like that tarsal gland a lot.
Yeah, good stuff. But use that bad boy every day of the season. Starts good and gets better.
They're curious.
Absolutely.
They go from being curious to being mad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it'll get you some results. But I think we got a caller on the line. Yep, indeed we do. Let's see here. All right, you got Steve and Mike Burklow. Who we got tonight?
This is Jack Stuck.
All right, Big Jack. Where are you calling from?
Claremore, Oklahoma.
All right. Well, Jack, what's your question tonight?
Are non-captive monster bucks leery of feeders?
What did he say?
Non-captive monster bucks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Leery of feeders?
I would say, I have not witnessed it a whole lot, but I have witnessed it a couple of times, and they do seem to be very leery of feeders during the daytime. Now, the only time I know about it during the nighttime is when we look at our cameras.
Yeah.
And at nighttime, they don't seem to be leery at all.
Well, and Jack, and I can speak from experience down here in Alabama and Florida and this part of the world. I'm not sure about Oklahoma, but man, I tell you, down here they're leery of them, especially the electronic feeders that make noise. They're leery. I tell you, it's tough, especially if you're bow hunting. To me, it's tough to get a shot at one coming to a feeder, and I know they will. And there's exceptions to that, but as a general rule,
right? Yeah.
I'd rather have corn.
There's going to be exceptions.
Yeah, if I was hunting corn or whatever's in the feeder, I'd rather have it on the ground as opposed to being in a feeder myself. That's just me. Now it may, like you said, I know in Texas now they use feeders a lot, but I think the deer up there are so used to that noise so much, and I guess that if the more you get,
it depends on certain factors,
right?
But in Oklahoma, but Alabama, right where we hunt and what we've seen, what we're used to, Tennessee, Mississippi, they're going to be sort of leery during the day.
Yeah, and bow hunting, we won't even bow hunt near a feeder because it's so difficult. They're so leery. We'd rather have it out of range where we can't even see it and try to get them. We'd like to try to get them staging up, looking around, looking for does out in the perimeter that are around that feeder more so than hunting the feeder.
Well, also in the state of Alabama.
So I don't know if that helped your question or not. I'm not so much knowledgeable on feeders as because we put it on the ground.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's kind of how I do it here, is on the ground.
Is that right?
That's the question I've always had.
Yeah, it just seems more natural to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, Jack, I appreciate you calling in, and we appreciate the question. Got us thinking tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, hope you have a great year, and if you kill a big old buck, send it to us. We'll put you in the trophy room.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, Jack.
Y'all have a good one.
All right,
too,
thank
Jack.
you. All right, Oklahoma. That's some nice deer. All right, we're going back to Facebook here, guys. This is Terrence Potter from Alma, New York. We got a lot of New York questions.
Wisconsin, New York, Montana.
Yeah. What is better to hunt bow in the pre-rut or after the rut? Let's see. What is better to hunt bow in the pre-rut or after the rut?
I guess.
I guess you're talking about using a bow to hunt with. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
to bow hunt, if I'm going to use a bow, when would I be more likely to kill a deer?
Well, if that's your question, and without a doubt, mine is pre-rut. Pre-rut is the deer have been waiting, those bucks have been waiting for a year for this. So that pre-rut, boy, they're excited and they're ready. They're especially some of the younger bucks and 2 and 3 year old bucks are ready to go. So they're really on the cruise. They're cruising. They're looking. So pre-rut
the pressure hasn't really hit the wood yet in the pre-rut a lot of times.
Right.
And you just stand the chance of a deer being closer to you.
Yeah, not quite having his guard on so much.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely pre-rut. All right, we got another Facebook question. Aaron Jenkins from Beloit, Wisconsin, I believe so.
Wisconsin.
And says, at what time during the year do bucks begin transitioning into their fall ranges? What you think, Mike? That's a good question there.
What I would think is whenever you have, again, I'm all about the factors. You got to think about several things. You got to think about what's in the woods as far as food-wise. Like in Alabama, you got persimmon trees that are starting to drop persimmons, and you got your oak trees that are starting to drop. So I think
Depends
more than
on food and where the food's at.
Depends on food is, when they start transitioning is when the food starts. The food supply is in certain places.
Starts producing.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. That's a good way. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And also, you got your green fields. People plant, different green fields, like to use different things in them. some people's green fields may not come up as well as other people's, and
Right, or they
you
might
know,
plant it
or-
later. And I tell you, deer, they like a variety.
That's right. They do like a variety.
So if you do plant green fields, I know that's a little off the question there, but if you plant green fields, make a variety. Even clovers, I know I like planting clover.
Several
but
different clovers.
5 or 6 different types of clover. They just like that variety in it. But all right, let's see. We got let's see what we're saying. We got to go to a commercial break
go to
here.
commercial.
All right, and we'll be right back.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success. You've worked hard all summer to get everything just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free. From collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
All right, guys, we're back. We're live. It's live, isn't it? Wake
live.
up, Steve. It's live. Chris saying, come on. All right, we got another Facebook question here. We got Brett Hundley from Winter Park, Colorado, way out there, out west.
Colorado.
Where it gets cold. All right, it says, are mock rubs as effective as mock scrapes? But, well, you got to think about the difference between rubs and scrapes and what they represent. Mike, rubs more of a territorial boundary indication, as much as scrapes are more for bucks and the rut, as far as establishing a place to bring in the does,
Right.
and to leave their scent and all. So, to me, a mock scrape is more effective because the buck and does they're going to use that. Now the rubs being just a territorial thing to me is not. To me, that just doesn't. It's great to see those rubs, and to me, I think mock scrapes be a lot better.
Right.
What do you think, Mike?
I'm the same way. It's
Yeah.
great to see a buck make a big rub and everything, or have a big rub in the area. But making those mock scrapes, it's just like they stop and look at those and take more offense to, who's been in here and stuff.
Right.
Whenever they see that.
Dadgummit, who's been in here in my bedroom,
That's
as
right.
Don says, always, master bedroom. That's kind of, the rubs kind of outline the master bedroom, but now those mock scrapes, you're infringement. Yeah, you're infringing on his territory. So yeah, scrapes. But all right, we got another Facebook. It's Alicia O'Neill from northern Kansas. Some good deer in Kansas. In regards to doe management, would you cull a fawn or a mature doe? Mike, you take that, and then I've got my own thoughts about that, but you take it.
In regards to doe management, would you call a fawn or mature doe? I'm thinking she means a young doe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Young doe or a mature doe?
Mature doe. And I've heard it both ways. And the reason a mature doe, you want to cull a mature doe, is some of the mature does are not breeding as much. But I mean, you can't really determine. You can't really determine that.
It's kind of
just
hard to
looking at
tell
a
a
doe.
mature doe sometimes.
But a young doe, I've heard more to take the younger doe, because a lot of times a younger doe will, she'll come into heat at an early stage. She will usually drop a couple fawns or one fawn, and but the mortality rate for the fawn that she drops at a young age is higher. and it goes back to human,
Yeah.
right? The experience. They'll drop it and they'll actually leave the fawn. I understand, but but a mature doe that's been in the woods for
Established
a couple
her
of years.
senses.
Yeah, she knows how to raise a fawn and everything. So you want to leave the mature doe, but yet I've still heard to shoot the mature doe because she may be out of the breeding cycle completely. But again, how can you look at a doe and know that?
Right, and to me, I'd rather shoot a mature doe, and I kind of follow that line of thinking. I'm sorry. I'd rather shoot a young doe. I'm sorry. I'd rather leave the mature doe.
Right.
Shoot the younger doe because a doe is always going to be a doe. Leave that mature doe because she's got more mother instincts,
Right.
like you said,
Right.
and
She's going to do the reproducing for
right,
you.
and she's going to be responsible for a lot of your reproducing.
Right.
So yes, a younger doe. I'd like to shoot a big old doe. Who doesn't? But
I like the younger does too, just because they taste better.
yeah, they do. They got tender meat, don't they? That's right. So
Yeah.
that's a good point there too. So, all right, we got another Facebook. This is Francis Jacobs, Southern Illinois. Fantastic hunting.
Very good.
Hunted Southern Illinois about 5 years in a row. I absolutely love that part of the world. Not real far from here, only about 11, 12-hour drive. So
Yeah.
we like to hunt up there. So do bucks get far smarter at a certain age? If so, what's the age? Example, 2.5, 3.5-year-old gets much wiser. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
From 2.5 to 3.5, there's a big difference. Big difference.
And 3.5,
Especially
4.5.
here.
Yeah.
Especially here where we live, the difference between a 2.5 and a 3.5 is phenomenal.
Right.
2.5, you're going to see them down here. I mean, you can see them. They're not as spooky. They're just not as smart. They don't have that experience. You get them 3.5-year-old, you just don't see them near as much. They're smarter. They're looking. They're smelling.
They're starting as they get older, 2.5, 3.5, 3.5, 4.5, and so forth. The older they get, you start getting that instinct of nature is starting to set in.
Starting to develop.
Tells them the best time to get up and walk. Tells them how far to walk. Tells them what's not a good idea to do and when is it to do something. As far as again, going back to that study that Chris pulled up, we looked at the range of a 2.5-year-old deer and a 3.5-year-old deer, then 4.5-year-old up to 6.5. And as they got older and older, their range went down and down. It's just that 2.5-year-old deer is searching.
Yeah.
It's like he's on the run searching for, to carry on. And as 3.5 years old comes on, then 4.5 years old comes on, instinct starts carrying over that, hey, the best time to go eat on a green field is well after dark.
Yeah.
The best time to be in bed is before it gets daylight.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say they're not going to move at all and you're never
Right.
going to see them. That's just majority.
Right. And the less I move, the less chance I'm going to get seen.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Closing that
Why
that area.
2.5-year-olds get shot so much.
Right.
And that's why it's a good idea to let them walk because, they'll get bigger. And that's the only way they'll do it.
That's right. But yes, when they hit 3.5, they get so much wiser. So 3.5 up, 4.5 even more, of course. So that was a great question. Great question there. So we got a top secret website question, and it's Marcus from Georgia. It says, when is the right time to hunt a mock scrape? What you think, Mikey?
Well, I was talking with Don about this, and he was basically saying there's actually 2 times of the hunt season to hunt a mock scrape with success. And Don preferably like the beginning or the pre-rut, and being able to make a mock scrape, put a little bad boy urine in it and stuff. But and also making that mock scrape as the peak of the rut entered. Now, when the peak of the rut comes on, and I'm gonna make a mock scrape, I like to use a little tarsal to I really like that tarsal gland.
Yeah,
And
it's effective.
especially during, in Alabama toward the end of January, I like to put the tarsal gland in there and put the doe estrus all around. And I think that's most successful in the mock's grape. And that's when I really like to do them more anyway, is
They can't
towards the end of
stand it.
January.
They can't stand it.
And again, with that grunt, I tell you what, it's deadly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Good question there. Good question. And all right, we got Carrie from Illinois asked, what part of the rut do estrus scents work best? And that's an easy question. Now, a buck is in rut from the time he drops his antlers all the way from the time he comes out of velvet all the way until the time he drops his antlers. So he's in rut basically the whole deer season. But now, were you talking about when the bucks or when the does are coming in? The best, estrus works great pre-rut, peak, and post. But probably the best, you got pre-rut and peak of the rut is when it's really going to work the best. But now you can use it post-rut too, because you'll have does that are coming in cycling that didn't get bred. So what do you think, Mike? What's your theory on that?
Well, I fall back on the watching other deer around me. And when the deer around me starting to get chased, the smaller bucks, they start chasing. A lot of times they'll start chasing sort of early in January, mid-January and stuff. And a lot of people say, well, the rut's starting early this year. The peak of the rut's starting early this year. It's going to be early this year, which I don't necessarily think is true. It's just that those smaller bucks,
younger ones,
are just about always
anxious.
Yeah, they're just about always wanting to chase. And but they starting to sense it in January some. But whenever you start to see that happening, that's when I do start using the estrus a little bit more. And about that third week in January, I really start using along with that tarsal.
Yep. So pre-rut, start using it, but then it starts getting real heavy towards getting close to that peak and the peak, right? Yep.
Right.
All right. We got a scent defense website question, and this is Chuck Hendricks from Williamsburg, Ohio. Does scent defense work on cigarette smoke? Boy, that's a good question that we haven't had before.
Because, you think about it, we talk about what the silver and copper synergy does. It kills the bacteria. It causes human odor, and that's really what alarms deer is the human odor. We use the essential oils in it, and it has a citrusy, sort of a honeysuckle smell to it that the deer actually love. So does it work on cigarette smell or,
cigarette smoke,
odor and stuff? I would, I haven't really experimented with that, and I don't.
That's what I was going to say, Mike. Chuck, why don't we do this, Chuck? Why don't we charge you with that field trial?
Yeah.
Chuck, tell us, if you don't mind, if you got some scent defense, try it out. If you like to smoke while you're hunting, a lot of people do. Try that scent defense and see if it will work. My gut tells me it's going to. It'll help tremendously. But I really think because it's got such a great smell to it.
It's going to overwhelm
that it's going to overwhelm that cigarette smoke, and you'll see if you hadn't used it, see what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Steve.
I don't
mean
try it and let us know.
We were up there at our camp up there at Cedar Rosa, and I was cleaning fish one afternoon, and you know how that fish smell can be on your hand. Well, I took that scent defense and washed my hands with it.
Gone.
Took care of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And that's why we like to use it on our dog too, because it just eliminates the odor so quick.
Right. That's right. Absolutely. I think we got time for maybe one more question here. Facebook question, Robert from Pennsylvania. Is it better to use mature buck scent or estrus during the rut? That's an easy one there, Mike.
Man, I love that mature buck scent.
Yes, but during the rut, both of them.
Both of them.
You can't go wrong.
But don't go in the woods without the mature buck. I bet you I'll use, and especially last year, I bet you I used 3 or 4 bottles of tarsal gland and bad boy buck.
He's talking about the bad boy buck here, and I used 3 or 4 bottles of this. I'll probably use 2 to 1. of bad boy buck urine to 1 bottle of estrus. But right there now, that right there is deadly, along with the grunt call, like Mike says. I like to keep them in my front pocket right there. Usually those hunting pants have a big flat pocket on the front. And boy, it's perfect for those 2 bottles right there.
Yeah.
You can foam them going in. It's deadly, along with that grunt, that infringement. So, Mike, it's that time. It's already been an hour.
Man, I can't believe it.
It's gone by in a hurry. We're inching closer to hunting season, and we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. And look for next week's show. We're going to be live in Citronelle, Alabama with Don Bell, and he's going to be doing the seminar on location there. We're going to have the film crew doing it, and check it out. I think it'll be pretty neat. But we'll see you next week.
All right.